So there you have it, the national anthem for the host team, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And fairly soon we'll have this one going here tonight. Charlo was making the point that both teams are preparing for the World Cup qualifiers. St. Vincent and the Grenadines in Group F, and will play alongside El Salvador, Suriname, Puerto Rico, and Anguilla. While Dominica will be in Group E and will face the likes of Jamaica, Guatemala, the Dominican Republic, along with the British Virgin Islands. It seems as if it's a little bit of a tougher road for the Dominicans.
Definitely it is. It is. It seems to be a bigger, a tougher battle. Line in Group E.
So we're just awaiting the start of this one here this evening. And we see the officials there out of Grenada. Tonight's referee kind of whistle is Mr. Rian Radix, assisted by Clinton Daniel and Cassie Phillip. Out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines with games, of course, the fourth official. And there you see in the middle both teams taking an opportunity just to pose for the cameras. And we await, of course, the kickoff of this one here tonight at the Victoria Park facility. Certainly that has seen some transformation over the years, and looking pretty decent here tonight, Charlo.
Definitely, I think the outfield, the sort of beating it took for athletics, I think it looks pretty decent. A lot of improvement would have taken place over the last few weeks. And I think the stage is set. It appears as if St. Vincent would defend the goal to the south. I was just wondering, looking at some indications.
Well, it very much appears that way. It seems as if DL Spring carrying the captain's arms band, and just been announced there's going to be a moment of silence as both teams gather in the middle. Of course, recently we had the passing of a national player, Zenroy Lee, who had an unfortunate passing, was shot. Now the minutes of silence. So there you have it. Moment of silence for the passing of the late Zenroy Lee, former national footballer, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And Charlotte now appears as if St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be defending another goal.
Yes, it certainly saw that shift. And city officials now just ensuring, just doing a bit of checking to ensure everything is in order.
And Vincy Heath there in a huddle. Almost mid-pitch, and tonight wearing the captain's armband, DL Spring, a young man who has certainly sure that he has the capacity to lead, and given an opportunity to do so here tonight. The captain of the Dominican team is Mr. Briel Thomas, and Vincy Heath now dispersing to their respective positions, and good to see, of course, Kyle Edwards, the lone overseas-based player here tonight for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as we get this one going. And ball down the left flank, nicely taken there by the Dominican. As 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders with him, and he's trying to work his way through there, but of course, cut out in the end. And it's an early corner here for Dominica.
Yes, I think the Vincy, he just got the boot onto it and just slid across the surface and out of touch.
Coming off the boot of Najma Bergin. And
so very early in the first minute.
Yes, corner kick to be taken by Bredas, Marcus Bredas. And let's see what he does with this one. Beckons to his players who hanging back at that far post. It comes in, floated up, and it's a good one and good arm there from goalkeeper there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and eventually looks like Adams with possession. The ball knocked upfield, but it's cut out there by Dominica. And Ryan Velux looking to get possession, but Dominica still with it on the left side. Ball crossed in and knocked away by the Vincentian defense. There's Kyle Edwards. First touch, possibly not the best. And it rolls right back into the Dominican half with the big number 5, Emmanuel. He goes right back to goalkeeper Brocard. And Brocard playing around with it a little. Finds it into the middle, and here's the Vincentian captain in DL Spring. Has a couple options. Decides to go back to Adams. Goes further back to Francis. And he will find his goalkeeper. Ball now on the left side. It looks like Najima Bergen over there in that left back position for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they knock it wrong early.
Certainly, all it is.
Yes. Here comes Francis. Floats it forward. Looking there for Spring. Spring knocks it into the path of Velux. Velux finds what looks like the big number 6 back to Francis. And playing a bit of a patient game early up in this one. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ball knocked forward now on the left side. And that's Gareth Ledgewood, I believe, there in a battle for possession. And it eventually goes out of touch. It's going to be a goal kick for Dominica.
Good defensive work there by Dominica, just shadowing it and allowing it to go out of touch for a goal kick.
So 0-0 in this the 3rd minute. And of course, these teams would have met the last time around about a year ago in Dominica. Also in international friendlies, and Dominica would have won both games. The first game they won 3-1, and the second a 2-1 victory for the Dominicans. So there's a score to settle here tonight for
But
St. Vincent and the
certainly,
Grenadines.
they're on home turf and would want to really do some amends.
Here is Vincy Heat with possession. Looking there for Kyle Edwards went quickly onto it. Is a big towering number 5 of Emmanuel. And averting any possible danger there for Dominica, who has possession midway inside their own half. And still with it. That's the number 11 player there, Anselm, as they look to come down that right flank, but losing possession. And it's going to be a throw-in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, of course, lots of football in action to come here in SVG. Of course, we recently had the election of a new president in Otashi Spring. But play continues, and that's very quick with the Dominican player
9.
with possession. Nice back to his captain. Takes a, well, it floats it in. I was thinking for a moment he was looking to have a shot, but it was a little too wide out. And still not cleared by
Charles.
Vincy Heat. That's Dean Charles. And eventually it's knocked away into the path of Bredas. Dominica still holding on to possession. And big towering number 11. And Anselm over there. Finds what looks like his captain. Cross comes in. And Indian, it's floated out of touch off the boot of the Vincentian defender. And it's going to be a throw-in to Dominica. Still 0-0. So
Certainly, Dominica looked they did better off the 2 in the first few minutes. Looked the most aggressive.
well, they've been quicker to the ball for one, and had that early corner in the first minute. But let's see what they're going to do with this one. Might be a very long throw into the 18-yard box. It is. Heads go up, and Indian is booted away. There's Orion Velox almost being ridden back in number 13 there for Dominica. And ball eventually goes out of touch. There was a big effort to keep it in, but certainly couldn't do so. And throwing to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Adams it is. Finds Orion Velox. Nice player, Velox. And has 1, 2, 3 shirts around him. It gets rid of it, and in the end the whistle going there, and it's an infringement against the big number 18 there from Dominica. And one thing I've noticed is that the Dominicans are more or less towering over the Vincentians here tonight, Charlo.
In terms of height, they're definitely above the Vincentian, out jumping them really.
Spring coming back now to Francis. Decides to go back to his goalkeeper in Darwin Davis, youngster who in the local premiership does the goalkeeping for, I believe, Lago Height. Ball in the middle of the park. Joseph to Kyle Edwards. Skips past one. Whistle going, infringement. And Edwards remains on the turf. And they're certainly not going to be giving him any space whatsoever.
Well,
Shallow.
Definitely not. And you can see he was closely marked.
So Edwards is there. For a moment I thought that Najima Bergen, who's also a good free kick specialist, but I believe Kyle Edwards is going to take it here for Vincy Heat. There's a 3-man wall in place for Dominica. And the amazing thing is that there are lots of yellow shirts behind this one. There's now we're seeing Spring and company going up, and here comes Kyle Edwards going to his right there now. Velox takes a shot, but it's into
good defensive work there by Dominica.
Yes. And Dominica with possession, whistle going, and infringement there by the...
Looks like Najima Bergen.
By Bergen. A bit of a shirt tugging there, pulling on the shirt of Josiah O'Neill, and quickly taking a free kick. Diagonal ball, chasing from left to right, still with Dominica. Cross comes in, but there's no green shirt there. Comes into the path now of DL Spring. Spring with some space and finds Velox there on the right. Velox cuts in, and well, that's a pretty tough one. Well, it's against Velox. And interesting to see that replay.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting indeed.
So it's going to be a free kick to Dominica. There were legs flying there in that one, as Dominica now with their free kick. Marshall it is. Beckons to his players to move forward. Volleys it upfield, and could only find Ledgerwood trying to pull the defenders with him. Let's see what happens. Short corner taken. Ledgerwood, and he goes down. There's a
big shout.
Big shout from the bench. Big shout from the rest of the Vincentians. But the Grenadian referee not interested. Brocard clears it, and it's
just wide.
Luckily there for him, ricocheted off the back of Kyle Edwards. But went wide, and another goal kick will result. So 13.5 minutes into this one, still 0-0.
Anxious moment there for Dominica.
Bredas, the captain, floated forward. Another diagonal ball. And a good header coming in there from what looks like the big player there out of North Leeward. And in the end, also going.
Frenchman call on Dominica.
So it looks as though it's going to be, that's Gavin Brown over there. Yes, plays for North Leeward Predators in the local premiership. Finds a Dean Charles. Charles back to Brown. And goes further back there to Najima Bergen. Bergen looks for, finds his captain in the middle of the park. Spring. To Francis. Back to Spring, and they're knocking it around here, SVG. Floated further forward, finds, Velox didn't do too well, but it fell nicely there for Kyle Edwards. Still with possession now, comes back out to Velox. Gets around one, cross comes in, and well, the defender was there nonetheless, and averting any possible danger there for Dominica.
Definitely, I think it was a good cross, but the Dominican was not giving the Vincentians any chance, and really got away with it. This is Vincy Heat knocking it around.
Yes, Francis to goalkeeper Davis. to Bergen, and they've had their moments of patience here, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Here we see a tussle in the middle there for possession, and referee Radix will have none of it. As a matter of fact, just having a word with the Dominican player, and a free kick awarded to St. Vincent and the Grenadines as the wind picks up here at the Victoria Park. Spring with possession for this one, and looking to get Velox going, but it's knocked a little bit too much on that one there, Charlie.
A little bit weighted, and you can see Velox acknowledging the pass really, but just had a bit too much on it. And but it's Dominica with it. Dominica still knocking it around. Both teams being very patient. Still Dominica. Number 10 chips it across. Finds his play on the far right. But there's Vincy Heat off there, and good defensive work there by Francis. And it's Vincy Heat looking to counter-attack. Dominica still in there, still with it. Looks to go wide, finds George for Dominica. He has to contend with
Adams.
To Adams, who goes out of touch. It's going to be a throw-in for Dominica. And you can see him leaving it to number 19. That's it, Captain Bill Thomas. A number of yellow shirts back in that penalty area. Long ball. Davis plucks it out of the air. No danger for Vincy Heat, and he boots it long downfield, looking for Velox. Velox has a defender. They're in a tussle still, and down he goes. Infringement call on Velox, so it's going to be a free kick for Dominica. It's number 5, but there's a good tussle there. And the Dominicans really defending very stoutly, Eddie.
Yes, they've certainly been good in defense thus far, and they seem to have that advantage with regards to the physical strength, I should say.
Along with their height. So it's still Dominica with it. In their own half, he comes wide, finds number 13. Number 13, that Breeders. He's been knocked out of touch, and it's going to be a throw-in for Dominica, quickly taken. Number 13 finds number 5. Still working it around, cut out beautifully by Dial Spring. Dial looking to get around the defender. Good ball, and Breeders.
Good work there from Brocard.
Definitely a decent piece of work. The whistle goes.
Well, he's down the goalkeeper there from Dominica, and he certainly put himself on the line there.
On the line, definitely, but it was a good piece of work there by Vincy Heat. And yes, he really put himself on the line. There it is.
So, possible opportunity gonna beg him, but you certainly have to say kudos to goalkeeper Brocard, as we'll have a possible look at it once again. And there he is. As a matter of fact, he got it straight on in the face. Yes.
Yes. And certainly averted whatever danger it was for Dominica, because really, Vincy, it was closing in on that.
And that was Joseph coming through there with some pace. As we have another look at this from a different angle. And yes, Joseph, as a matter of fact, it seems to have knocked him in the chest area, not in the face.
Yes, it looks like it. Now you're seeing it on the replay, taken in the chest. And perhaps winded a bit.
Yes, there's absolutely no doubt as far as that is concerned. And Brocard, he's certainly...
And he's up again. Just ensuring he refreshes himself with some water.
He appears to be pretty much okay now. And bounce ball to be taken.
So Dominica will come over with it. Still in their own half. Just knocking it around. Finds number 5. It's Emmanuel. Looks for number 13, Breeders. Breeders looking to come through. Looks for, here is George. But he has Francis to contend with. He goes out of touch. It's going to be a throw-in for Dominica. Quickly taken. Thomas. Breeders. And he knocks it out of touch. This time it's a throw in for Vincy Heat. This looks like Adams. Quickly taking, goes back to Francis in defense. Francis back to Adams. Adams now looking to work his way down the line. And poor piece of work by Adams, giving it away. And so it's going to be a throw in for Dominica. Quickly taken. And again, Dominica still with it. George now loses it. Adams regains it. And a deliberate piece of work there by Charles, and off the Dominican, out of touch for a throw-in. So Charles with it. And there's the Dominican infringement. And it's going to be a free kick for St. Vincent. So it's Francis with it. Francis looks up. Looking to find the Spring. Does so. Spring has two defenders. And he's been knocked out of touch. So still Vincy Heat. Francis with it. Goes back to his goalkeeper, Davis. Davis.
Well, there appears to be a problem in the bench of the Dominican area. Split continues on the park. I don't know if our cameras are picking it up. But Captain Spring would have ended up in the Dominican bench area. And now the ball has been knocked out of touch. And there's Spring, as you can see, looking very much uncomfortable. Went straight into the Dominican bench area and now being helped up.
And seeing him is holding his face, actually.
I hope it's not a situation that he might have got some sort of injury. And well, you ended up in the enemy's camp. Anything is possible, Charlo.
Anything is possible, yes, rightly said. And can see Edwards in a conversation with the referee, Radic. And
it looks as if, I don't know if you would have gotten a hit on the forehead, but the Vincentian captain off the pitch at this point in time. St. Vincent Underground is down to 10 men. Still 0-0, Charlo.
It's still 0-0. You see Ledger Wood on the far left. And it's a throw-in for Vincy Heat. In fact, it's going to be a Dominican goalkeeper finds his defender. So it's still Dominica. Breeders finds George. George going down the left flank. But he has Adams to contend with. The cross comes in and good cover there by Davis. Covering the angle well. And
one thing of note,
easy take.
Yes, the pace of George, he literally just walked past Adams there. Cutting and cross was straight into the arms of goalkeeper Davis.
So it's still Vincy Heat. Davis finds Francis. Francis. It's cut out there by the Dominican. Looking to come forward. Infringement call there against Vincy Heat. And it's going to be a free kick for Dominica.
Captain Thomas is behind it. As you see a slowly building crowd in the background. Thomas.
It's going to be a head for goal. And knocked away there by the goalkeeper Davis. Comes back out. And again, it's Dominica, it's George. There's a tussle. Dominica still with it. Inside the Vincy Heat half. It eventually being knocked out of touch.
Well, Charlo, Davis appeared to be pretty lucky with that first shot there from Thomas. He seemed to be in no man land and was pretty much lucky, in my opinion, to knock it out.
Well, he was lucky. He got a hand to it, knocked it away, but Vincy Heat in a struggle to get it cleared. But in the end, no danger. And here is Velox. Velox boots it downfield, looking for Spring. Spring has Breeders. Still Velox with the defender. And Breeders will now come away with it. Dominica finds Thomas, who goes wide. Still in their own half. looking to come forward. Dominica on the right side. Finds his number 10. Has a defender there to contend with, and there's some tugging and pulling. Infringement call on Dominica. I think there's a bit of frustration there, stepping in there, Eddie.
Well, definitely. As we see referee Radix now just having a chat with Kean Thomas.
Yes,
on
the
screen,
the
still
number
having
10.
a conversation, yes.
And free kick. He goes back to his goalkeeper, Davis. Davis comes to Francis. Francis looking to move it down, finds Velox. Back to Francis. Back to Velox. Velox just slowing things down a bit. And now he boots it downfield, but there is the defender, number 5 for Dominica. That's Emmanuel. Comes back to Thomas. Thomas still with it. He goes wide. Still Dominica with it. Inside the Vinci Heat's half. This is number 18. Just toying around with it. Comes right back to Thomas, his captain. So Thomas looks to find play on the far right. The cross comes in. And there is Edwards getting his head there, but not really clearing it. Breeders is still with it, but he has Kyle Edwards with him, looking to get around. Kyle Edwards not giving him any room, and just shattering that he goes out of touch.
Good work there by Kyle Edwards.
And that's the experience coming through there on the part of Kyle Edwards. And it's going to be a goal kick. In fact, a free kick being awarded to Vinci Heat. Goes back to his goalkeeper, Gavin Davis. Finds Najima Bergin. So still Vinci Heat just knocking it around. Dominica cuts it out. This could be dangerous. This could be dangerous, but good work there by the Vinci Heat. They're still in a tussle. Vinci Heat would come away with it. And eventually being cleared. Infringement there call on Dominica. Down goes that player.
Ledgerwood it appears to be.
It looks like Garrett Ledgerwood from our vantage point, sporting number 21.
Yes.
And it's going to be a free kick.
So there you see Ledgerwood being brought down. Free kick to be taken.
Taken, so Francis. Comes back to his goalkeeper. And Garwin Davis finds Najima Bergin. Booted long ball downfield. Finds Kyle Edwards. Edwards has a defender to contend with. Still with it, Edwards. And he's brought down by Captain Thomas for Dominica. So it's going to be a free kick for St. Vincent. Dial Spring is there waiting. Captain.
So there's Spring. Edwards, as a matter of fact, just ran some touches there. Got past one, but Captain Thomas brought him down as he attempted to go past him. And a free kick now for Vinci Heat.
So it looks like Velox who will take that free kick. It's a two-man wall, as Radic just indicated where that wall should be. So Velox with a free kick. Swollen ball and through the legs of a Dominican, but Dominican would come out with it. In fact, Vinci Heat, it was Charles who was intercepted it. And here was the defense for Dominica, just booting it out of touch.
Well, in fact, it wasn't the best of free kicks there from Velox. He floated it in straight into the Dominican defense, and they muffed it a bit, but in the end was able to get it away.
And yes, so Adams. And there's still some tussle here. Adams with it, goes back, finds Najima Bergin. Bergin finds Charles. Good ball. Looks for Ledgerwood on that far side. Still, there goes the whistle. It's pretty interesting Eddie.
Well, it's going to be
We're
a free kick.
the whistle going against Vincy Heat. So it's going to be a free kick for Dominica.
Looks like that's Maxine, it is. Should be wearing the number 3 shirt. Decides to go back to goalkeeper Burkhard. Burkhard, that's his name. And finds Maxine on the right side. As Dominica will try to build, but no, decides to come back into the middle. Toying with it a little bit. Have to be careful. Giving it up to Kyle Edwards. And, Ledgerwood losing his footing there. I think he was wrong-footed by the pass itself from Edwards. Unfortunate. And
but it was really a good touch on the part of Kyle Edwards.
It was.
And really caught Ledgerwood a bit off guard.
Here is Joseph. Cross comes into the man-fact shot, and Burkhard is there. Gink. And, a player's down. Whistle going infringement against the Vincentian player as Burkhard seemed to have gone down after. It'll be interesting to see the replay. Let's have a look at it.
Yes.
As the ball comes in, and Burkhard not holding on, but got a knee somewhere in the face. And immediately the whistle going against the Vincentian player. Looks like Kyle Edwards who would have committed that foul. As we have it a bit closer, and smack into the face of Burkhard. There for Dominica. Quite unfortunate. An infringement against the Vincentian forward.
Definitely. But Edwards took some time to regain his composure. He's back on his feet again. And it's going to be a goal kick for Dominica. Okay, so a throw finds Breeders. Still, we are in the 32nd minute of the still 0-0 here at Victoria Park. Breeders still with it. Breeders has a defender to contend with, and good defensive work there by Adams. So it's going to be a throw-in for Dominica. And Breeders would now leave it to Captain Thomas. Thomas, tall figure, goes across field, finds his number 18 player. That's Bertrand. Goes wide. And Vincy Heat still with it, knocking it around. Now looking to come out of that. Good piece of work there by Vincy Heat. Controlling it in the middle. And Charles still with it. Has 2 defenders. Infringement going against Dominica. So it's going to be a free kick for Vincy Heat. And so Najima and Kenija Joseph looks for Charles, but loses it. The defense for Dominica. With it, it's Dominica. Finds Captain Thomas. Seems to be all over the place. Goes back. Still with Dominica. Breeders. Finds George. George goes down and he goes out of touch. It's going to be a throw-in for St. Vincent. In the 34th minute. So Adams goes back to Francis. Francis with it. Finds Captain DL Spring. Spring goes across field. Finds Kenija Joseph. To Najima Bergen. Back to Joseph. Joseph still with it. But he's been robbed there by the Dominicans. So there's this tussle. Some pushing. Dominica still with it. Dominica. Bertrand. Gives it to the player on the right. And down goes the Dominican. Infringement there, call on Joseph. So it's going to be a free kick for Dominica inside Vincy Heat's half. And you can see a lot of yellow shirts bordering around that penalty area, giving support. Captain Joseph seems to be the free kick specialist for Dominica. Boots it across field, up goes the head, and then cleared there by still with Dominica, who kicks it out of touch. It's going to be a goal kick for Vincy Heat. It's still 0-0 here at Victoria Park in this friendly between Dominica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Republic of Dominica. And Garwin Davis, goalkeeper, finds Francis. Francis finds Adams. Back to Francis. Francis just slowing things down a bit. Looking for some support. Finds his captain, DL Spring. Spring goes across field. Finds Charles. Back to Spring. Spring. Still with it. Still with it. Dances around and goes back to his goalkeeper. Goalkeeper goes wide now. Finds Najima Bergen on that far left. Bergen looking to find Legend Wood. Legend Wood in a tussle with the Dominican. Dominica would come away with it. Long ball, but easy ball for Davis, who controls well and now rolls it out to Francis. Still 0-0. Francis finds Adam on the right. Adams still with it. Adams looking to find Kyle Edwards, but cut out there by Bertrand as he dances around. Still George, and that went out of touch. And there goes the flag for a throw-in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And it's Adams. Number 3 finds Kyle Edwards. Back to Adams, back to Edwards. Number 17 has 2 defenders. He looks to get a run, but there is Adams still with it. Comes back to Charles. Charles knocking it around. Finds Najima Bergen. Still. And Vincey Heath still with it. Charles looks to find Legend Wood. And there's some pulling and shoving on that far side. It's against the Dominicans, so it's a throw-in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Still 0-0. Throw comes in. Looking to find Charles. In fact, he looks to find Najima Bergen, who has 2 defenders with him. There is that tussle. It goes out of touch. It was Dominica with it. Dominica now. Free kick. Still with it. Dominica. And goes out. Play being held up momentarily, because I think George for Dominica is down. Not sure what transpired. And the Vincentians quickly find their way to the line to be refreshed with some water and to have some instructions from the coach. So that play is down. George, he's still on the ground, receiving some attention. So, instructions being given just in front of us. Vincey Heath, as they are locally called. So there goes the whistle. So very soon there's going to be a restart. And, so we are in the 39th minute. It's still a 0-0 affair. And players are making their way back to their various positions. You can see Kyle Edwards and Garrett Legend Wood exchanging some ideas. So it's going to be, let's see. It's going to be a throw-in for Vincey Heath. Throws it to the Dominican goalkeeper Bocard. Bocard with his defense. So it's still Dominica looking to come forward. Cut out there by Vincentians. So it's still St. Vincent. But again, not a good pass, and Dominica would come away with it. It's South Dominica on the right, but cut out there. Beautiful interception by Vincey Heath. Losing it again to the Dominica, not controlling well. And Dominica still with it. Dances around, that's number 18, looks like Bertrand. He's been pushed to the right. It goes out of touch, and it's going to be a throw-in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So still nil in the 41st minute of play. It's Kenija Joseph. He's been toying around with it. It goes back to his goalkeeper, who looks for Francis. Francis has been hustled there by the Dominican, and it's still Charles. Looks to find Adams. Adams still with it. Goes back to Francis. Inside their own half. Francis just slowing things down. Now he boots it long downfield looking for support, but he finds the Dominican. And really not what you'd want at this particular time. Still Dominica with it. The cross comes in, and it's being knocked out of touch. It's going to be a corner. I think the second corner for Dominica. So it's a corner on our far left. It's Dominica. Cross comes in, up goes the head, and nicely plucked out of the air by Garwin Davis. And the goalkeeper. And looks now, and he tosses it downfield. Looks to find Kenija Joseph. Vincy Heat with it. He's in a tussle with the defense. Still Vincy Heat. Still with Vincy, the cross comes in, looking to find Charles. Charles goes wide. I think Velox Garrett Ledger would just go to get around that, and acknowledging the effort, and it goes out of touch for a throw-in for Dominica. Bredas looking to find George, cut out there by the captain Thomas, and Bredas back to him. Goes across field. It's still Dominica with it, but intercepted there by St. Vincent, and again Ledgerwood not able to control. It goes out of touch. Another throw-in for Dominica, and Ledgerwood, I think, a bit caught, a bit napping, and long throw. Breeders headed away there by Garrett Ledgerwood. DL Spring is in a tussle with Thomas. But Charles is there. And it's Adams for St. Vincent. Finds Najima Bergen. Bergen comes back in defense. Finds Francis. Francis finds Charles. Charles looking for that play on the far left. And I think the player caught in an offside position, so a free kick quickly taken by Dominica. Dominica still with it. Looking to, but cut out there by St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And then losing it again to Dominica. Not good control. Looks to find number 23. He's been hustled. And still Dominica, but there is Vincy Heat coming away with it. Vincy Heat looking to find it. The cross comes in, poor piece of work, and again it's butchered, and it's been knocked out of touch. A little bungling on the part of Vincy Heat. Really should have done better, and we'd have to look at that again. But there was the opportunity for Vincy Heat. Really made a mess of it, and there it was. There is into the defense straight, and then kicked away there by the defense for Dominica. But really, I think a better effort should have been made. But it's going to be a corner for St. Vincent and the Grenadines as we come to the closing minute of this, the first half. Really an opportunity to go ahead, but being muffed. So, corner kick comes in, up goes the header, knocked away there by Bocard, and still, and Vincy Heat is brought down. Referee says to play on. Dominica will come away with it. And it goes out of touch. And it's going to be a throw-in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And so it seems as if they have some 3 minutes of added time as we are in the 45th minute. So that comes to the end of the first half. It's still 0-0. Vincy Heat. Up goes the header for Dominica. He being knocked out of touch. Still another throw-in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Quickly taken. And he comes back in defense to Najima Bergin. Bergin comes across field to Francis. Francis looks up and he calls Adams. Adams knocks it back to Francis. They're just knocking it around. Goes back to his goalkeeper, who is off his line. Looks up. Signal his players to go forward. Long ball downfield. Headed away there by number 4, but only to find Velox. Velox with a shot straight in the midsection of a Dominica, and he's hurt. But Dominica's still with it. Dominica, and down goes that player. Hit right in the sensitive area. And there is Najima Bergin. And still Dominica with it. Bertrand. But cut out there again by Vincy Heat. And Thomas knocks it out of touch. Some attention would have to be paid to that player who's down. He got it straight into that sensitive area. And immediately he went down. And you can see now the medics just doing some leg pumping, some stretching, being hurt in that sensitive area. And play being held up momentarily. Referee Radic just ensuring that all things are well. And now you can see him being pulled to his feet. That's the number 4. That was it, Marshall. And whistle. Soon. See, so it's a throw-in for Vincy Heat. And it's back to goalkeeper. So it's goalkeeper Bocard. Long ball downfield, finds Adams. Adam goes back, finds Francis. Francis off the defense of Dominica. George out of touch. And there goes the whistle for halftime. So at the end of halftime, it's still a 0-0 affair. And here at Victoria Park, where in this friendly between Dominica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, both teams coming away from it. Saw glimpses of good construction, but in the end, still 0-0. And that's the halftime whistle. So we'll be right back here at Victoria Park to bring it to you as soon as the game resumes for the second half. So until then, it's 0-0.
We're back here at the Victoria Park to witness the start of the second half in this friendly international. St. Vincent Island Grenadines taking on Dominica after 45 minutes. It's 0-0. And here we see VC3 Heat with possession. Ball floated forward. And finds the Dominican. But still with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ryan Velox it is at the top of the 18 on the left side. Looks to get around the defender. Cross comes in, and this could be a bit of a problem, but in the end, danger averted. And there is Joseph trying to keep possession. Spring, the captain for VC3 Heat, finds Velox. Velox closely marked, but still hanging on to it. And in the end, I believe it's going to be a throw into Team Dominica. It is. Finds the captain, Thomas. On the right side, Dominica floats it forward now. Looking there for the number 11 to run on to. But in the end, well, a moment I thought it was a handled ball. And DL Spring couldn't keep that one in. And a throw into St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So keenly contested first half, Charlo.
Definitely, it was.
Where both teams had their opportunities. Goalkeeper Burkhardt certainly did a good job for Dominican goal, and one can see why he's wearing that number 1 shirt. Banged up field now. And in the middle of the park there, that's Adams battling with George. But loses it, and good work in the end there from Bergen. Knocks it forward. What looks like a Ledgerwood. Has a player there in close attendance, but the defense is there for Dominica. And it comes back out now to St. Vincent and the Grenadines still on the right side. And though shot there, but shot comes in, ricochets off the back of the big number 4. And the battle for possession still continues on the far side. Infringement now against the St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And it's going to be a free kick to Dominica deep inside the half on the left side. 0-0, and during the half-time break, of course, we saw Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves making an entry here tonight at Charlo.
Yeah, definitely, and I can see him well greeted.
Nodded away there by Adine Charles. It is with possession, but whistle going, and it's against VC3 Heat. Dominica now with a free, their captain Thomas, tall, lanky player he is, and now spotted wearing that number 19 shirt, Thomas. And floats it in, headed away by the Vincentian defense. But Dominica was still in possession. As a matter of fact, decided to go right back to goalkeeper Burkhardt, who slipped. And there's an appeal for handle ball, but the referee not interested. And we really want to see the replay of this, of that one, Charlo. It seemed a bit touch and go. Meantime, Coach Theon Gordon is absolutely furious on the touchline there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But play continues. Bergen loses possession. Nice ball floated in, but a good header there from Keith. That's from Francis. And in the end, I believe it's going to be, well, the cross comes in now. And in the end, it's easy there for goalkeeper Davis. So, Burkhardt playing a little there as this one is floated forward. Here comes Velox. It can be danger. Velox floats it in. Goal there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Orion Velox in the 49th minute. A crisp pass through the middle, splitting the defense for Dominica. And Velox with just Burkhardt to beat. Slid it past the goalkeeper to his right. VC3 Heat 1, Dominica 0.
Well, certainly a good piece of work by Velox. He controlled it well. He kept his cool. And he saw the advancing goalkeeper, slid it past him into the back of the net. And the goal that they were long searching for.
So Burkhardt caught off his line there, and a nice pass through the middle. It, as I said, split the two defenders, and Velox just ran through the middle. Burkhardt off his line, and a nice, cool composure there from the youngster Orion
And that's
Velox.
what you really want to see. We have missed that in the past, but he really kept his cool. He saw the advancing goalkeeper. He used that left foot and just slid it past him, and the celebration was on.
So St. Vincent and the Grenadines with the opening goal in the 49th minute off the boot of Orion Velox. And Dominica will now try to regroup and plan and come forward once again. Ball given up there by Spring. Good work there from Dale Spring. Here's a goal scorer in Velox. He's closely marked on the left. Has two defenders with him now, and there's a tussle, but it's Spring who picks it up.
Spring.
And in the end, it's knocked away by the defense. A no-nonsense tackle coming in there from the big number 5 there for Dominica. But it's going to be a throw-in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Meantime, it looks as if, well, Velox is on one knee on the touchline there. And actually, it's a corner kick for Vincy Heat. Captain D.L. Spring spots it and seems to be taking his time after all. St. Vincent and the Grenadines with the opening goal, and they'll certainly want to make sure that they keep command of this one as Spring beckons his players. Is he going to knock it short? Let's see. Floats it in and knocked away by the defense. There was a gaping hole in the middle there with no yellow shirt, and it was easy there for the Dominican defense. But Spring gets the return ball, has two green shirts with him. And in the end, this one again off the Dominica defender for another corner kick. So 1-0 to the local team, and there you see the Vincy flag fluttering behind the Dominican goal. And Spring is going to have a second bite of the cherry, if we can say that.
Within the space of a minute.
Yes. And this crowd here has certainly come to life. As Spring, again, we see that space in the middle there, Charlo. As the players hang back, he decides to looks for Joseph, Kanija Joseph. And back to Spring. Spring works his way past one, past the second, goes to the ground. This has to be a penalty.
Well.
This is absolutely surprising. Spring is appealing for all his worth there to referee Radix. And well, he's been shown a card there for dissent.
Well, I'm really shocked.
Very much so.
And
I really love for our technical team to show us that replay. Let's see, get past one and being brought down. That's a brutal challenge. That's a penalty, Charlo.
Blatantly brought down, a penalty right in your face, and he was denied. And one could understand why Spring was that furious.
Yes, he was literally knocked off his feet there. And well, the man with the whistle in the middle is in charge. Whatever he says, go. So it is Gavin Brown with a turn. Finds Kyle Edwards. St. Vincent and the Grenadines enjoying some time with this ball here early in the second half. Back to Edwards. Edwards still with it and gets past one. A second. And there's Joseph brought down again. And this time it's going to be a free kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I wonder why it is that he didn't notice that. Well, that foul on Dale Spring.
But he was he was in a perfect position, and really, I think just everyone was mystified, really.
So, Dominicans being somewhat savage, for want of a better word, here tonight. And that tackle on Spring moments ago certainly should have been a penalty.
And they can come their lucky stars, really.
But it's Kyle Edwards nonetheless with his free kick. Can St. Vincent and the Grenadines make Dominica pay? We're into the 54th minute. Vincy Heat with a 1-0 lead in his international friendly here tonight at the Victoria Park. Kyle Edwards with it. Floats it across. Let's go up. And Burkhardt got a hand to it. Did enough to get it away, but let's see. Danger still not yet averted. Ball is back out now to Spring. Finds Edwards. Floats it in now, the top of the 18-yard box. The heads go up and nodded away there by Thomas. Indian volleyed upfield, and Dominica getting a chance to catch the wind, catch the breath, and certainly recompose themselves.
Well, definitely. I think that's a breather for them, but some pressure really being mounted there on the part of Vincy Heat. So off comes number 20 for St. Vincent, and on goes off comes number 7, which is Velox
is off,
and on goes number 20. That was And now off comes number 21 in Garrett Ledgerwood.
So Pear is in for Ledgerwood. And wearing the number 20 shirt for Vince
It's
Heath
Franklin, Courtney Franklin.
North Leeward's Predators player. And
Yes.
a young, exciting
Young,
cricketer also.
Very good youngster. He's very quick. They would have to look at him.
He is very fleet-footed. He's part of the Winter Islands on the 19 squad as far as cricket is concerned. But tonight he's concentrating on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course, with a 1-0 lead here against Dominica. Here is Najima Bergen, deep in defense for Vincy Heat. Has possession, loads of space, decides to go back to goalkeeper Davis. Garwin Davis finds Francis down the right side. Knocking it around, Vincy Heat. And certainly had a barrage of opportunities some 2-3 minutes ago on the Dominican goal. They're still with possession inside their half, and ball is in the end knocked away there by George. And a throw to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be taken by Adams. Jaquan Adams on that far right side finds what looks like Stephen Pear, who came in moments ago. Pear with possession, giving it up, and the Dominica will try to move forward. Ball floated onto the left side now. Captain Thomas into the middle, and nodded away there by the Vincy Heat defense. Here's Kyle Edwards. Can he get past this player? He does so now. Has that was well read by the defense. As there was Franklin, he showed his pace. He was really darting away, but he's going to get this one. And in the end, whistle going infringement against the Dominican, who's going to be shown a yellow card there. And free kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They've been really a bit rushed with their challenges here tonight,
I think when one looks at the Dominican there, they have been very, very physical in terms of their tackle. And
Najima Bergen, left foot specialist. Let's see what he can make with this one. As 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow shirts at the top of that 18-yard box. Bergen floats it in. Knocked away by Captain Thomas there for Dominica. They have possession in the middle of the park now, and now surges down the left side. And in the end, a Vincy Heat player goes to the ground, but Dominica now still with possession. Tried to cut into the middle, has a couple yellow shirts there, and cross is blocked.
Good defensive work there by Vincy Heat.
Yes, that's looks like Davis with some good defensive work, and I believe it's going to be possibly a corner kick there for Dominica. So
it's going to be a free kick close to the corner.
It is indeed. So you have to give it to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They came out with all guns blazing in the second half, and really and truly didn't give much of a chance to the Dominicans. A barrage on the Dominican goal, and in this the 59th minute with a 1-0 lead. So free kick now to Dominica. Ball is in and missed there. It's in the back of the net. So equalizer there for Dominica. That one went through the hands of goalkeeper Davis, who in my opinion should have done a lot better there, Charlo.
Definitely should have done a lot better. One anticipate that was an easy take for him. It went right through his hands. There it is.
And it's O'Neill, the goal scorer. Right through the hands there of Davis. And should have done better.
Certainly should have done a lot better there. So Dominica has equalized.
So here is Vincy Heat now with possession with Adams. And decides to go back there to get Kevin Francis. Lanky player he is. He's been with his national outfit for quite a number of years. Been in and out of the squad, Francis. And floats it upfield now. Surging ball. There is a bit of pace. Bocard is off his line. And danger in the end clear there for Dominica.
I think he timed that run very well.
Bocard, goalkeeper, yes, he was very quick off his line. And here's Thomas, Dominican captain. Searching ball. Knocked back in. Dominica still with possession. And Franklin fouling the player there in the process. That's Maxine being brought down there by Franklin. Good, Franklin. as the wind picks up here tonight at the Victoria Park. And now we see the physio for the Dominican team coming in to give some assistance
and
to
so too the
Maxi.
Vincent physio.
Yes.
I think he says he's all right.
And you can certainly hear the whistling, the rustling of the wind in our microphone where we are at this point in time. It's more or less exposed to the elements, Jalo.
But there's no cover.
And we getting into that season very soon, of course. We'll be talking about the hurricane season in these parts.
Starting June next month.
Indeed. This is day number 2 in the month of May 2024, and a season that promises to be a pretty active one, the experts say.
Was just about to comment on that. Says it's going to be a pretty active season.
And Maxi now limps away. And Dominica, of course, with a free kick. Bertrand. Seems as if there's going to be another set of... Well, no, Maxi is going to come back in shortly. Shot comes in there and straight into the arms of Davis, who certainly made an error about 2-3 minutes ago. That one went through his arms into the back of the net. Equalizer for Dominica. 1-1 into the 62nd minute as Davis now collects this one at the top of the 18-yard box and decides to go to his right near to Francis, more or less at walk-in pace. Francis drives it down the middle. There's Courtney Franklin with a pace and came off his back, but he's still there, Franklin, and the Indian goes out of touch. And a corner kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Charlo.
Well, certainly Franklin there showing his pace and he read it well. Actually got around the defense, but really a bit too quickly, and that landed on his back. And Indian not able to control as he really wanted. But there's a corner.
I was trying to use a pace of Franklin there, but unfortunately it came off his back. Now we see another Dominican player on the ground, player wearing the number 5 shirt, I believe. That's Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
Now being helped up and get some attention at the back of the Dominican goal. Meantime, we were just awaiting this corner kick for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and this the 63rd minute. 1-1 it is. Vinci Heat scoring in the...
So the number, he's been substituted. Emmanuel goes off.
All right.
And on comes number 15, that's Challenger.
Short corner. Here is Pierre back to that's Bogan, yes. Still with Vinci Heat. Joseph.
I think he's trying to do too much with it.
Battle for possession there. And Indian is knocked upfield, but Dominica wins possession. Ended up as a good pass, but ill directed there by the goal scorer for Dominica in O'Neill. And throw taken, finds Thomas. Good ball there from Thomas. Worked in now. This could be danger. Shot comes in, and it's good save in the end there from Davis.
Good
making amends for the mess he made early on.
Definitely. I think it was a good build-up on the part of Dominica. Let's see that cross. And
Davis stretching that.
Really stretching for all his worth.
Out and knocking it away. There you go. He was somewhat beaten there. And in the end, did enough just to get that boot there to knock it away.
Just to get that boot in as the corner comes in. It's still with Dominica inside the Vinci Heat's half. Still knocking out Bertrand. Referee says to get up and play on. Well, about 3 players down in a heap. One back on his feet. But there's a signal for some support. The medics just been helped to their feet. So we are in the 66th minute. And it's 1-1.
Well, St. Vincent, of course, had referee Radix decided to award a penalty. Should have been at least 2 goals up, 2-1 up, I should say, Jalo.
But penalty was not given.
Dominica now with the number 3 on the right side. Cuts into the middle. Nice searching ball there with the inside of the left boot. As will now be robbed of it. As a matter of fact, Adams looking to pick it up there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and some good work there by Adams. Regains possession. And now knocked up field there by Najima Bergin. Kyle Edwards is there, but couldn't get a head on to it. And Dominique will pick it up just inside their own half. Looking now to come forward. Bergin. This Captain Spring. Spring looks for, finds what looks like Joseph, but he loses possession. A bit of shirt tug in there, but here is Courtney Franklin. He has 2 players with him and doing well. Franklin, the 2 Northwood players, as a matter of fact, is Vincent and Grenadines on the left side. Nice ball into the middle and lost his foot in there, unfortunately. And Dominica will come away with it. But there you see the pace of Franklin. Certainly
has really created a bit of a stir in the defense there for Dominica. I think very early they recognize his pace.
Well, these are 2 players who play who are quite familiar with themselves. Gavin Brown with the number 19 shirt, who's going to take this free kick,
and number 20 in Courtney Franklin.
Yeah, they play for the North Leeward Predators, and they certainly know each other well. And you saw that a while ago. Here's Gavin Brown now with, well, referee Radix. Just asking for players to.
I think he's having a word with Marshall.
Yes. So we are with this free kick for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Brown, Gavin floats it in, headed away, comes out there to DL Spring. Spring, closely marked, looks for what looks like Joseph there on the far right side. He's closely marked, and in the end, it's St. Vincent and the Grenadines' ball. It's going to be a throw-in, very close to the corner flag there on the right side. As it looks like Spring who's going to take it. Captain Spring seems to be all over the place tonight, Charlo.
Well, he's leading by example.
They just tried to get this one into the 18-yard box. So long throw it is. Let's see. No, decides to go short. Ball comes back and no, floats it in, but it's not the best of crosses there from DL Spring. Luckily it falls for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Going back there to Kevin Francis. Francis with that long diagonal ball, searching one, looking there for Franklin, but in the end it's knocked away. And off the boot of a Dominican, through into St. Vincent and the Grenadines, just in front of the Dominican bench. And throw taken there by Gavin Brown. The Bergen. Spring. Battle there for possession, and that's off the shirt of Najima Bergen. And Dominic with that throw down the right side. Goal scorer O'Neill is after it. Knocks it back. Good little flick on there from the Dominicans. And a patient bit of game, finding the captain into the middle. As a matter of fact,
comes right back into defense.
Yes. Looking to find a player there, but Gavin Brown is there first. And taking no chances, deciding to just knock it out of touch and a throw into the Dominicans. So, still 1-1. St. Vincent started this the second half in a bit of a blaze and a bit of a hurry, if I can say that, Charlo. But the Dominicans being able to pull one back.
Since then, things have slowed a bit. They came out really in a hurry.
Throw taken there. Davis was off his line, but the defense was there to cover for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And this could be possible danger. It is in the back of the net, and Dominica has gotten the go-ahead goal. In this, the 70th minute. Looks like the player wearing the number 10 shirt.
But
That's
Keon Thomas.
let's look at it. No, it's not Thomas. As a matter of fact, it is O'Neill again.
But again, the defense there caught napping, really. And Davis wrong-footed into the right-hand corner.
So Dominica coming from behind, and they now have a one-goal lead here tonight. St. Vincent and the Grenadines 1, Dominica 2. And Kyle Edwards with the kickoff to Adine Charles. Poor pass there from Charles, but not so good work from Dominica. And here comes Adams racing down the right side. Ball cut out. Charles picks it up for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And ball is out of touch for a throw into Dominica. Of course, these two teams will meet on Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. here at the Victoria Park. As Gavin Brown would have missed that one, but he gets the return ball from Najima Bergin. Ball footed up now, looking for his captain, D.L. Spring, who has one defender ahead of him. And Spring cuts in, takes a shot, but it's blocked. And looking for glory that time, Spring. But the defender was there. Whistle going, as a matter of fact, as the player remained on the turf. And Physio quickly in to give some attendance.
Physio having a busy night.
Definitely for the Dominicans. Looks as if it's the captain. Is it the captain Thomas who's down? We'll find that out in a little while. So Dominica soaked up the early pressure in the second half and being able to equalize, and then went ahead
and they went ahead in the lead.
But the Vincentians only have themselves to blame. First, of course, error by goalkeeper Davis. Ball going through his hands as we have a look at this one. And well blocked there by the Dominican player. And then we saw the defensive blunder a while ago, giving O'Neill some space, and he made the St. Vincent and the Grenadines team pay as far as that is concerned. Yes, it's Thomas was up as we have a look at that replay. And Physio will now make his way off. And all of a sudden, this once vocal crowd has gone a bit quiet, Charlo.
Yeah, definitely. The crowd has gone very, very quiet indeed.
So here's Dominica now with possession. All on the left side. Still with it. And they're simply just knocking it around. Dominica now floats it upfield and aimlessly into no man's land. And that's right now for St. Vincent and the Grenadines as the Dominican captain makes his way back in. Not on camera, but now back to full strength. Dominica, full 11 on the pitch. As here's Najima Bergin now for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Looks for, finds Gavin Brown, closely marked Brown, loses possession. And knocked forward again, but Francis is there. O'Neill is certainly in close attendance. And in the end, some good work there from Francis. Yeah, well, to the corner kick.
He has really, really been working hard in the defense for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Seems to be a pretty cool head. And really trying to control things in defense for.
We're going to have yet another substitution, this time for Dominica. Playing away in the number 17 shirt for Dominica, or is it the number 11?
Number 11, and on would go number 7.
Okay, so
for Dominica,
Anselm is
off
out.
comes Anselm, and on goes Warrington.
And St. Vincent and the Grenadines also making a substitution. Kyle Edwards comes out.
Kyle Edwards.
And Sam, it's not Blake. Play with the number 9 shirt for Vincy Heat is Denzel Bascom. Also, we see a number 5 player coming in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a youngster wearing that number 5 shirt. Sebastian Alexander.
Sebastian Alexander.
I've never seen him before.
Not very familiar with him at all.
So play continues now.
Just
Dominica.
wondering if he has anything to do with the Bassi Alexander.
Well, it's all left to be seen as Dominica now with possession here on the left side. Player with some space. And looking to get past Adams, but he'll have none of it. And I believe that's a corner kick there for Dominica.
Should be a corner. And the number 7 just on for Dominica. And really hustles the defense.
This one is floated in. And in the end, it's an easy one for goalkeeper Davis. As the wind once again picks up here at the Victoria Park. Here's Najima Bergin. Bergin does well. Finds Adine Charles. Charles going back there now to Francis. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course, going ahead and now finding themselves 1 goal down. As they do have possession on the right side. And ball off the boot of a Dominican player, so throwing there to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There's the Dominican captain Thomas. Long searching one, but it certainly should be no problem there for goalkeeper Garwin Davis. Loads of space and time, and finds Bergin in defense. Najima Bergin. Simply knocking it around. Here's Najima Bergin. Looking there for Stephen Pear. Pear comes out there to Gavin Brown. Cross comes in from Brown. Not the best of crosses, and it's nodded away by Thomas. Sebastian Alexander is there, and so too is Bergin, and in the end booted out by Thomas. Big, lanky player. Did enough, of course, to ease the pressure there for Dominica.
Well, he has been really working hard as a captain for Dominica.
Alexander with it. Finds Gavin Brown. Stephen Pear with it now. And that one, Brown would have given up on it, but Pear wins possession for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Back to Brown, luckily. And still on the left side, return ball to Stephen Pear, and in the end is knocked away for a corner kick to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
So Marshall, the number 4, knocking that out of touch. And Vincy is trying there desperately to equalize. And
corner kick to be taken. So this one is up and in and headed away by Marshall. Shot comes in there off the boot of, it looks like Franklin there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Didn't control. Went high and wide.
So here's Dominica looking to come forward, but St. Vincent wins possession, going right back there now to goalkeeper Davis. Whole lot of real estate ahead of him. Also has Najima Bergin to his left. And Bergin picks it up, goes down the middle there to Alexander, wins possession. Running through the middle, Alexander, and fouled in the process there by Thomas. Well, a bit surprised there, Charlo. That looked to me like a blatant foul. But I'm not the man with a whistle in the middle. And you hear the disgust coming from the crowd. There's been some decisions here tonight that have certainly left a lot to be desired.
Definitely, Eddie. Must say I have not been impressed with the management and the officiating of the game, but he's the man in charge.
So, ball floated forward now by Dominica, off the head of Adams there for Vincy Heat, and in the end, St. Vincent seems to be a little too much relaxed at this point in time as ball is knocked forward, but there's Davis picking up nicely and leaves it there now for Kevin Francis. To Bergen. Bergen has George ahead of him and almost would have given it up, but Gavin Brown doing well, wrong footing the player there in the process, and then no nonsense approach there from Thomas, and there you see that blistering tackle coming in there from the Dominicans. It's getting a little too much there, and we see some words being exchanged. Referee Radix having a word. As a matter of fact, asking that Dominican player in Maxine more or less settle himself. So they've been quite aggressive here tonight, the Dominicans.
Yeah, I did mention earlier on that they've been very physical indeed.
Gavin Brown with a throw-in. Finds Stephen Pear, gets the return ball, Brown. And has two players with him, and St. Vincent with yet another throw-in. Brown once again has Stephen Pear, but decides to put it into the path of Franklin, who loses possession, and in the end it's going to be a goal kick. Pear couldn't keep that one in, and goal kick to the Dominicans. They'll take the time with regards to that. Is a moment for them to
slow things down.
Exactly.
Because certainly under 10 minutes remaining. Well, not sure how many minutes of extra time, but with a 2-1 lead, I think they will try to slow things down and try to control things from here on.
Without a doubt. So, Bocard taking his time with this goal kick and floats it way upfield off the head of Adine Charles. Bascom loses out there for Vincy Heat, but it falls there for Adams. First touch was not the best, and it's a turn to Dominica.
It's going to be another substitution. Off comes number 8.
That's Kanija Joseph.
And on goes number 13.
That's Masai Brown Andrews. So Brown Andrews wearing the number 13 shirt in for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And these warm-up games, of course, quite naturally the opportunity to expose players and give them that opportunity to be at the international and regional level, Charlo. Here is, well, a possible opportunity there for Dominica, and O'Neill really and truly should have done better. That should have been the third goal for Dominica.
Yeah, definitely. But I have to say good work by Davis. He was still able to get his hand onto it, his body.
Well, he should have taken it the first time around.
He should have. And in the end, had to be cleared by the defense.
So, Dominica still with possession. Maxine it is. And shot is in danger. And it's just wide.
Sliding past that right-hand corner.
Here's Stephen Pear with possession for St. Vincent. Maxine in attendance. Into the middle there now. Adams on the right side. Looks then finds Alexander, gets the return ball. Good. Well, it was turning out to be a neat one until the defense interrupted there for Dominica. And in the end, it's knocked away there by what looks like Kevin Francis throwing to Dominica. So just about 5 more minutes to go in this one.
St. Vincent. Rather surprising.
Kevin Francis finds Najima Bergen, who's had a fairly good game. Bergen searching ball and looking for Stephen Pear, but it's too close to goalkeeper Burkhard. And he's going to waste a little bit more time. Goes to the ground. And steals a couple seconds. Decides to bowl it to his left. And Dominica will try to build and come forward. They have that 1-goal advantage here tonight, leading by 2-1 here at the Victoria Park. International friendly against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Good ball there from George. Cuts in, gets around the defender. It could be still danger, and this could be goal number 3 it is. What a neat goal there from the Dominicans. The pace of George running past the defense there and just knocking it into the path of the advancing player. Look at this one, with all the time just to knock it past goalkeeper Gavin Davis. O'Neill with his hat-trick here tonight. Goal number 3 for Dominica.
Goal number 23, that's O'Neill.
So, Dominicans, they celebrate. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course, with an uphill task at this time, with just under 4 minutes remaining, just under 3 minutes remaining, plus added time. Dominica in the ascendancy.
I think one of the noticeable thing about the Dominicans that they are maintaining their pace. You can see the fitness coming through. I think we have seen it in terms of Vincy Heat. A number of the players really have slowed.
That's a fact, Charlo. As Vincy Heat now with possession. And that physical is also important because the Vincentians came out blazing in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Was able to get a goal. Should have gotten a second one from the penalty spot. That didn't happen. And Dominica have answered 3 times, responded 3 times with no answer, I should say. Here's Bergen. Charles losing possession, and here comes Dominica again. George with that pace. Cross comes in, and just too many yellow shirts in that 18-yard box. But it's back to George, to Thomas, to George. And in the end, I believe that's going to be a corner kick to Dominica. It is. So
a lot of pressure being mounted on the defense for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Meantime, coach for the Vincy Heat team, Theon Gordon, head coach, bellows a couple instructions from the bench. But with just about 2 minutes remaining and at a time, might be a mountain to climb. Not the best of corner kicks there from Dominican, but defensive work is not the best
as well.
Exactly. Here's Maxine for Dominica. Floats it in the top of the 18, off the head of a Vincentian. Alexander with it, looking there for Courtney Franklin, but the defense was there before him, and Davis should collect this one nicely, yes, without any problem. Najima Bergen it is. For St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Here's Stephen Pear, but loses possession. Pear, but does well to regain. Tussle continues. Pear. Twist and turn, and in the end, brought to the ground. Infringement by the Dominican captain, and Thomas.
I think he's satisfied to take a yellow for that. Not allowing Pierre to get around because he recognizes that Pierre has some pace on him.
Certainly. Look at that. Twist and turn, and then just knocked to the ground there by the Dominican captain, just pulling the legs from under Pierre. That boot of his. And there's Gavin Brown to take the free kick for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Just a one-man wall in place, and Maxine. Sorry, that's George. And Gavin Brown with the free kick now for Vincy Heat. Floats it in and off the head of the big towering number 4 there for Dominica. Here's Alexander with a ball in the middle of the 18, and it's knocked away by Dominica. Picked up there by Najima Bergin, and now finds Gavin Brown with Maxine. 2 defenders now with him. Brown, and some good work there from Gavin Brown, winning the throw there for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Here's Alexander, who's looked quite well since he's come on, Charlo.
Definitely.
And not the best of balls there from Bergen. Wasted opportunity. And giving up the ball in this, the 90th minute. No indication from the 4th official as to added time. Should keep the clock running. Our technical team downstairs. As we just await this goal kick from Bocard. Francis it is. Here's 2 Vincentian players and allowing the number 4 to come between them. And that one was right into the Vincentian bench. I believe Coach Gordon would have taken a blow with that one. As here is Adine Charles. Finds Bascom. Takes a shot. What a beauty. Just off the crossbar. And really and truly a thumping drive coming off the boot of the big Vincentian number 9, Denzel Bascom. And certainly creating some problems there for Bocard.
Well, that was a well-taken job, but just unfortunately, that right into the crossbar. And the goalkeeper was beaten, Bocard.
Definitely beaten, Bocard. But he's now taking his time, knows that he's into extra time. And with a 3-1 lead, Dominica will certainly cut away at the seconds. Pair. And Captain Thomas getting it away for Dominica. Finds Najma Bergin. Bergin there to Alexander, who's looked well. St. Vincent still with possession. Charles to Alexander. Bergin looks for and finds Gavin Brown. Brown losing out in the end, and a good ball there from Maxine finding Bocard, who immediately boots it upfield, and that should have been an infringement against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But here's Thomas for Dominica. Finds George. Knocked down by Stephen Pear. Whistle going, and a free kick to Dominica. Thomas looks a bit winded. He's really given his heart and soul here tonight for Dominica. Led from the front, will now take this free kick. And ball is nodded goalwards, but no threat there to goalkeeper Davis, who should try and take this goal kick as quickly as possible.
One would anticipate the whistle going at any moment.
Certainly, as Najima Bergin will look to come forward for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they're still spreading it at the back. Francis. And player losing his footing there. Bocard picks it up for Dominica. Again, just toying around there, Bocard. He knows exactly what he's doing, of course. And there you go, just bunks it around again. A good little 10 seconds would have gone there, Charlo, or even a bit more. Dominica with possession, but loses out. Alexander with it in the middle of the park. Ball back with the Dominican captain now. And here's George, possession. O'Neill, who's had 3 tonight, floats it in. And And there is Adams at the top of the 18, winning possession for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but they've lost out once again as a cross comes in, and that should have been a possible 4. But in the end, the Vincentian defense comes away with it out of touch. Dominica winning a throw-in, but that should have been number 4.
Well, definitely. It should have been number 4, and you can see that the Vincentians, they really run out of steam. And really, the Dominicans have shown that they are fitter, stronger, and really came out victorious indeed.
So that's the final whistle to signal the end of this friendly international here tonight at the Victoria Park. Team Dominica with a 3-1 victory over the host team St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Of course, the goal scorer for Vincy Heat, Orion Vellox with a beauty. But then there were 3 responses from O'Neill of Dominica. And in the end, coming away winners tonight. Of course, there is a second game on Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. here at the Victoria Park. And it will be an opportunity for the Vincentians to respond.
Well, definitely it would be an opportunity for them to respond and to see if they can pull one back. But I think the coaching staff would have some work to do. And I think one of the things that they would have to look at in terms of Vincy Heat and the team is the fitness of the guys, because we see that in a number of cases they were outrun by the Dominicans, who are much quicker to the ball. They look stronger and everyththing, and in the end Dominica came out coming from behind and really winning 3-1.
Well, it's back to the drawing board for Coach Theon Gordon and of course his coaching staff. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as you said, they did at times show that pace here tonight, but was not able to sustain it to the end.
That's the problem.
And that's where the team certainly would have lost the game, Charlo.
And historically, I think most persons always complain that Vincy Heat for the first 75 minutes they would run hard, but in that final 15 minutes they seem to lose the energy, and you normally get that lackluster performance to the back end of the game, and that's where sometimes they lose the game. And we saw that where the Dominicans continue to outrun them right into the 90th minute.
Well, we thank you for very much being a part of this broadcast here on VC3, channel 114, of course also on our Facebook page. We will be back with you on Sunday afternoon at about 3:45 to bring to you live coverage of the second Friend International here at the Victoria Park. Thank you so much for viewing, and as we said, on Sunday afternoon we'll be back.
We'll be back.